How about that? Yeah, that's better. Hey guys, what's up? I have my thing in the wrong place. Yeah, so you're watching me again, and this is another show of the Proz Crypto Talk Hour. Today's October 15th, 2014, and I'm not feeling the lower thirds anymore, so I'm just not gonna do that right now. I think it's kind of cheesy. I think they got to offer more different varieties of lower thirds to the bottom of the screen to make it more you know, like I feel like people see that on the little icon thing on YouTube, and they're like, I'm not gonna watch that video. But anyway, my name's Randall Parker Jr., and you are probably catching this through the Voluntary Virtues Network. If not, if you're on this through just one of those like massive like tunnel sessions of digging through the right-hand side of suggested videos, then go ahead and subscribe to Voluntary Virtues underneath this video. Would appreciate that. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin today, as usual, and we got a few different stories to cover. Go ahead and do that. So first, we're going to talk about pricing. We're getting our pricing information from BitcoinPriceLive.com. They're kind of an official sponsor of the show. So we're in the 390s right now, which is up from last week. We were in the 320s, 330s last week, earlier in October. And we were down as low as 275 not long before that. So Bitcoin is showing signs of health again, rebounding back. Volume is steady, but much lower than during the sell-off, which is pretty understandable. But we're not looking for a pretty big trend reversal until you see that volume spike back the other way. I'm just going to zoom out of my chart a little bit here and see. Yeah, it's pretty steady. It'd be hard to say, but we're looking for something to get us over the 400 range. We're at 394 right now, as of this particular moment on the evening of Wednesday, the 15th. Anyway, which way, Bitcoin looking healthier. That's good. We were as high as 417 yesterday as well, so we did already crest that 400 mark, but it was just for a short period of time. And that could happen. Seriously, someone goes to the market and buys 4 or 5 Bitcoin at a given point in time, and it could jump the price up pretty substantially on one deal there. So the first story we're going to get into comes from bitpay.com, actually blog.bitpay.com. BitPay is the well-known Bitcoin payment processing company out there. There's BitPay, there's Coinbase, there's CoinPayments.net. There's a number of them, but BitPay is one of the big top two with Coinbase as well, and Coinbase story for you in a minute too. But BitPay is the sponsor of the 2014 Bitcoin St. Petersburg Bowl, as we've reported on in the past. It is bowl season, so I'm not a big sports fan, so I don't know the exact date, but it's probably at least a few weeks away, maybe a month, because I know they just opened up. That's our stories. They just opened up the tickets to be, if you're interested in going to that, it's going to be in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you were to go to that game, you could actually buy tickets to the event using BitPay. So the official website is now live. You can go there at stpetersburgbowl.com. Bitcoin is in the official name of the event. It is the 2014 Bitcoin St. Petersburg Bowl. Blah, 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 blah. They didn't put BitPay. So when BitPay sponsored the event, they did not choose to put their own business name into it. They chose to put the word Bitcoin into it to promote Bitcoin itself. So that's pretty cool. If you go to the website, again, stpetersburgbowl.com, there is a Bitcoin B on the top of the homepage in the logo. And then right underneath where you can see the payment gateways or the ticket providers, it shows Ticketmaster.com and it shows Bitcoin or BitPay, I forget which one. And then when you go to order tickets, it shows you all the different tickets that you can pick from regarding which seat you want to sit at, which section, whatever. And the different prices are listed there in US dollars, but when you fill out your personal information, select the tickets, the quantity, and so forth, you get one of those familiar BitPay payment screens where you have 10 minutes to send some Bitcoin, and it gives you a public key and it gives you a QR code. So very familiar checkout experience for anyone that's used Overstock.com or Expedia.com. Yep, and a number of different ways. A number of different, obviously, tens of thousands of sites are processing payments using BitPay. So we'll have the full story in the show notes if you guys want to take a look. Second thing we have for you all today is theage.com.au. This is an Australian website, is reporting a seizure of millions of dollars. The number of millions is not being stated at this time, but if it's 2 million, not a big deal. You're talking about less than 1% of Bitcoin's overall market cap. You're talking about 100 million. That would be a lot more significant. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's that big because so Australia, which is, I believe, the name of this column, is reporting that Victorian authorities seized millions of dollars with millions with an M, millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in the bust of an alleged online drug trafficking ring. So this sounds like maybe a Silk Road-esque type of maybe a drug seller or someone who's selling drugs online. There's an act actually by which they justify this behavior in Australia. They call it the Confiscation Act. It's just whatever words on paper they have to authorize stealing from people. So the Australian Senate report remarked that Bitcoin's appeals to criminals because they leave no financial trail. I love how whenever people don't know about Bitcoin, they refer to it as Bitcoins. Like they'll be like, Bitcoins are very dangerous for society, as opposed to just saying Bitcoin is, like, Bitcoin is a proper noun. Like you could just say Bitcoin is this, Bitcoin is that, referring to the entire network. But that's lost on a lot of people. So anyway, it said that if the parties are convicted for the crime, the seized Bitcoin would go to the state of Australia or the state of, I guess, Victoria, whatever, like the local jurisdiction of in that area. And what else? Yeah, there's no names or websites or anything like that has been implicated right now in the actual arrests or busts or whatever. And it's unclear whether these coins, if kept, which I don't ever see the state saying, "Oops, we made a mistake on this drug ring bust. We're giving you your Bitcoin back." But that'd be pretty cool. But if they're kept, it's unclear whether these will go out via public exchange or via some sort of private auction, like was done with the Silk Road coins that were seized by the United States federal government. So that is that, guys. I might be banging through these stories a little fast. We didn't get a guest for today, and it's a little quiet in the news. We're just kind of yes, we talked about gems a lot last week. A lot of stuff going on like that on Counterparty that we're waiting to hear back from. Quick update on the gem situation. If you guys go to getgems.org. Oh, and by the way, follow Crypto VVN on Twitter, and you can tweet at us during the show. But if you go to getgems.org, there's going to be an announcement. I can tell you soon, without really leaking anything. There's going to be an announcement soon, which will be kind of a announcement about an announcement, which this is an announcement of that. So you guys are really in on the early end of this, but going to be some big announcements out of that project soon. So getgems.org if you want to follow with that. But yeah, a couple of things on the news today. If we finish early, We'll have a bigger show when we can get some of the guests we're going after on here for you guys. The next story is regarding Coinbase. This one's interesting, right? Coinbase attracts a state-o-crat. This is out of the New York Times. This guy, John Collins, apparently was a former advisor to the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee as head of government affairs. And so this guy, John Collins, used to work for the government. as a state-o-crat, working on a couple different committees, and now he is working for Coinbase. So Coinbase recruited this guy. He's no longer a government employee per se, but he's in the quote-unquote private sector, and he is working, according to Coinbase, his work there will be to work with lawmakers and quote public officials on policy decisions related to virtual money. So kind of like a lobbyist, kind of something like that. Fred Ursam, I don't know, the Coinbase founder, he can be quoted as saying, "Is to educate people who are going to form the regulations around Bitcoin in its formative years, so its potential remains." So the notion here is that if we don't hire or get representation from, the bureaucracies, if we don't have, you know, uh, state representation in our private company with our private type of money exchange, basically getting permission is what he's sort of advocating for, Fred. But it's a position of fear and it's a position of rationality. I mean, if anybody who's ever read Atlas Shrugged, you can get a real feel for what happens when you grow in size or in value versus the state. You get that letter, that visit, or that phone call from someone in some 3 or 4 letter word, acronym committee or organization saying we'd like to have a meeting with you and discuss potential for cooperation and partnership and mutual benefit. Forth, we have to create a little monopoly, don't do anything contrary to our wishes. So that's kind of the unspoken writing on the wall. Whatever. That is kind of some of the questions I have here for you guys. If you want, again, you can tweet me at CryptoVVN on Twitter. And so what does this say about Coinbase? Is the route? Is this a wise choice to get on their good side and give some of them some money and a job title and to free up room for another state-o-crat to go sit in his chair and be a head of or whatever he did before? No, I think I have his. I thought I already might have said that, but this guy John Collins was the Senate Homeland Security Government Affairs Committee. I mean, actually, all that stuff doesn't really matter. Like all that just sounds like hogwash. I mean, like it doesn't sound like real words. It's just like made up. It's important, like they say they do. Anyway, so I'm following a bunch of people on Twitter at CryptoVVN. I got a notification. Maybe someone said something here. I don't know. I don't see what it is yet. Maybe someone followed me. Anyway, yeah, so story number 3. We're still talking about Coinbase. That's right. Apparently, Coinbase executives have already taken meetings with representatives from various government agencies, including the IRS, FinCEN, and possibly others. So, I mean, I don't really have a problem right now with continuing to use Coinbase, but it is starting to get a little sketchy for me. I'm more of a local Bitcoins fan myself these days, and then if I were to make a large transaction, I would go with my guys over in California who keep it real and who are professional as fuck. I would go with MalibuBitcoin.com and talk to them for anything, over a Bitcoin or 2 or 3 in size, depending on the price. If you spend like $1,000 or so, or you're looking to invest above that, definitely those guys are the type of professionals you want to deal with on a one-on-one basis. But yeah, I mean, I used to do a $5 weekly automatic Bitcoin buy with Coinbase, and that was nice. I like that feature. But I actually have since stopped using the bank account connected to that, and I don't use that feature anymore with Coinbase. So Coinbase is pretty much just sitting there for me. What I will use it for is as an alternative to an online wallet, because I feel like blockchain.info can be less user friendly to view on mobile. So when I'm thinking about going to like a Bitcoin meetup or something, I might transfer some Bitcoin to my Coinbase wallet with the intention of maybe doing some commerce or making a tip or something while at the meeting. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty lame that Bitcoin companies would actually ally themselves in any way with the federal government or with any local government or any kind of government whatsoever. But it's not surprising. I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't see the. I mean, I know a lot of people in crypto that don't even have libertarian values, and I know a lot of people in the anarchist or anarchist or leading libertarian kind of circles who don't understand the association between cryptocurrency and liberty and freedom, the idea of enhancing personal freedom. So that's the purpose of this show, is to tie the connection closer so people can be aware of how you can increase your personal freedom by starting to do commerce using cryptocurrencies and using and also if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone who technology and you're unaware of cryptocurrencies or unaware of blockchain technology, you're getting yourself behind the curve, and a lot of people don't realize that this is something more than a currency. So Coinbase is deeply, deeply rooted in their niche, which is basically payment processing and as somewhat of a exchange, so to speak. Basically, it's a gateway, an entry point for people to get into Bitcoin and get out of fiat, or vice versa. But its size is misleading to its popularity. I think it's a good testament to the size or to the Bitcoin that there is a company like Coinbase that would be hiring or attracting someone so far from within the federal bureaucracy to where they can afford and attract and interest someone like that. So Coinbase is definitely a monument to the real size and impact that the Bitcoin currency and adoption has already had on the world. But at the same point in time, I think as that adoption takes new form and new shape, I think we're going to see people who are users of Bitcoin looking for more unique and peer-to-peer and decentralized means of getting in and out of the currency and doing those sort of transactions. Whereas I think Coinbase may attract a lot of the more earlier adopters at first, because they're going to have the size for the marketing budget, and the newer adopters, rather not the earlier adopters, but the next wave of adopters might be coming through Coinbase. But I think that before long, there will be a much larger selection of service providers in that area. So I don't think Coinbase will be that relevant. The last story I have planned for you guys today is I have something else after this. Rather, the price information is still getting on a lot of these mainstream sites. So investing.com has an article up today about the technical info and price info of Bitcoin, titled "Bitcoin Rally pauses at." I can't remember my own handwriting. Bitcoin rally pauses as chart signals way. That's trader speak for the price went down a little bit because the chart. Look at the chart. If you know what you're doing when you look at a chart, you can figure out what some of the stuff means. But they're basically shorthand analysis of what's going on with Bitcoin right now, why it went up to 417 and why it went back down to 390, 380. Basically, they're calling it a recent slide attributed to price manipulation by short-term profiteers. So, that may or may not be the case, but it makes sense. You hear that a lot. You see that a lot in forums, in the troll box, people talking about pump and dump and all that stuff. So yeah, that's cool. I might have a couple more stories I'm going to give you guys real quick, but I want to make you aware of an opportunity. If anybody's interested in being part of any interesting or exciting cryptocurrency projects, I have an avenue to get some people possibly involved in various capacities, whether you are good at writing articles or whether you're good at sending emails out to people, whether you're good at just going on Facebook, Reddit, and Twitter and upvoting and retweeting. Depending on your skill, depending on your effort level, there is compensation available, and there is definitely some early access, early adopter type of perks and rewards available too for people that are kind of hardcore crypto people that might want to get involved. You can go ahead and tweet at me, CryptoVVN, say whatever, interested in the freelance work, crypto work. We'll follow each other. We'll get a PM going, and I will get you on a Skype or something like that, and we'll share some more information one-on-one. But we're definitely gonna try to use this platform a little bit as a recruitment to try to place some people who are interested into some exciting crypto projects and try to strengthen the community that way. Also, if we have any investors watching and you'd like to be made aware of some different development projects that are taking place that you may not be aware of, I have some inside lines to various people who are building and developing exciting cryptocurrency projects that will require some funding. So there's a lot of opportunity for people on both ends of the equation here. So yeah, the rest of the news is, let's see what else we got here. The guy that got called the inventor of Bitcoin by Newsweek, the guy that his name is Dorian Nakamoto, but he's not supposedly the real Satoshi. He's really milking this thing now. He's gonna sue Newsweek, which whatever. I mean, who the hell cares? I don't care. I can't blame the guy really. I guess maybe I mean, I don't really know. Well, I guess what he's saying is that he's kind of been terrorized by this, like people showing up at his house and mailing him stuff and this, that, and the third, and it's kind of like I guess probably rattling his shell a little bit. So. The First Amendment and Supreme Court decisions protect the news media in their reporting on matters of public interest. So you really have to show actual malice and disregard for the truth. That would really that would be very blatant and very provable, said Gene Polizinski, Senior Vice President of the First Amendment Center. Newsweek's article terrorized both Dorian and his family, all of them private citizens. The website says this website is, I guess, Dorian's. What the hell website are you talking about? I guess the Newsweek website. I don't know. So anyway, regardless, this Dorian guy is trying to go back and get some money out of this. It's pretty funny. Not funny, but it's interesting. See how that goes. That's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Tweet at me, CryptoVVN. We did like a half hour instead of crypto hour. It's crypto half hour today. Everybody, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all making some money on some IPOs. If you have any tips you want to share with me, you want to help me get rich, tweet at me, CryptoVVN on Twitter, and we'll have a champagne party together. All right, y'all. Peace.